and the black and whites from Hull. Well, in common with so many others, they've done it tough with injuries this year. Shaw, Tallalona, Griffin, Sneed, Bowden, Westerman, Abdul all injured, and of course Sika Mano beginning a 3-match suspension. Doesn't get any easier for the clubs, doesn't get any easier for Lee Radford, their coach. Referee is Robert Hicks. Perfect evening yet again. Haven't seen a cloud in the sky for over a month. It is fantastic.
It is hot, 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 and that's the reason the two teams have gone for the specific make-up. Well, in terms of the starting 13 and the bench, we might talk about that a little bit later on, but the start of the game is vitally important.
So here we go then. Danny Brough gets us underway here at the John Smith Stadium. It's Hakim Maloudi, the stand-in full-back for Hull, who's underneath it, and that's a first drive from Mickey Payer. And looking at these two sides and looking at the size of the forward packs on both, I think this could be a bruiser, Terence.
And I do think that the Huddersfield forwards really do need to step up in this game. They got rolled a bit in the middle last week, quite easily. The players left on the wrong side of the road. They weren't dominant. Got to make sure that they control the big Hull FC set. I'm talking about the pitch, it is absolutely immaculate. The Huddersfield players were commenting how good it was before we were on there. Firm, nice and dry, and I'm sure it's going to be an expansive game.
Hopefully so, and just like looking out of your lounge room window, I know, Terry, you're a perfect grass cutter. Although yours is artificial, isn't it?
Got no grass, Eddie.
This is Jake Connor, who will hoist a kick from left to right. But that's just a little bit easy for Darnell McIntosh. 21 years young today is Darnell McIntosh. Happy birthday for him, and he's got tries in 4 of his last 6 matches.
See Hull FC now trying to take the yards away from Huddersfield. This is the man who I've been looking forward to watching. Missed the last 4 games at the time. Big and powerful. You don't know what you're going to get from him when you're defending against him.
Let's get an early word from the pitch side. Here's Bill Arthur.
Eddie, Hull FC kept it quiet, but it turns out Mark Minicello was a bit of a doubt going into the game. As it turned out, not a major doubt, but there were concerns about his fitness in the warm-up. They were keeping an eye on him. Be interesting to see how he does go in the early stages of his game, because he came through that check and is obviously out there and taking his place. But he was a concern for them.
Thanks, Bill. Mark Minicello, of course, with a new 1-year contract extension safely banked this week, and the man who is out of the team because of suspension, Sika Mano, has put pen to paper on a new deal only today.
A terrific player. Both gave great service to the black and whites of Hull FC. But I want to go back to a remark I made about the 2 packs today. Huddersfield Giants have gone very quick, very agile, very mobile. Akuma Tai, Michael Lawrence, Dan Smith all spent time in the back row. The bench is packed and stacked with power. Well, Hull FC go the other way. They've got power to start, including Chris Green, the man on the ball at the minute, starting at loose forward.
This is Jake Connor, along with Kelly, looking to provide the X and Y factor for the black and whites tonight. And that's Carlos Twimavavi, gets to his feet, plays it to Minicello, and another kick high and from left to right. From the boot of Connor, McIntosh claims it, and then Kelly very quickly with Farimo on him in a flash.
Well, nice and composed, wasn't it, for the birthday boy at the back. Big raps from Andy Kelly, who's the head of youth at Huddersfield. So he's got a real big future down on McIntosh.
They also think a lot as well of Jacob Wardle, who's operating in the centre tonight, the younger brother of Joe, who is now at Castleford.
Well, I'm not surprised he's picked. I watched Leroy Cudjoe last week. He probably had the worst game I've ever seen him play at professional level. You know, 5 years ago, he was in the dream team, was one of the best centres in this league. But he dropped far below it, and he's hoping his teammates here can pick up the standard tonight.
Well, here is Wardle, the man who's taken his place. That's good defence, though, on tackle number 5 from Hull. And so the ball will make its way via Gaskell to Danny Brough, and a trademark kick now left-footed from Brough. And underneath it is the young winger Jack Logan, England Academy International in 2014. He's halted by current England international Jermaine McGilvray. Carlos Twimavavi now for the black and whites.
Well, you always know when you play against Danny Brough what you're going to get off him. Come towards the back end of the set, he's going to kick the ball, but you don't know what that kick is going to be. He's got so many different players up his sleeve.
Neat from Maloudi to Minicello. Minicello looking to go down the middle. And a good job that there was support there from O'Brien, who hauled him down, and he has forced the knock on from Minicello.
Oh, wow, I think he's very harshly done to there. What an athlete he is, by the way, at his age, still pumping out those yards as he's trying to play that ball.
Comes off O'Brien's foot, doesn't
He's desperately unlucky. A nice show and go. Thinks about the offload. He thinks the quick play of the ball's the better option, and
well, O'Brien's at the side of the ruck. He's got to come round the front and keep out of the way. So you can see there, the ball's on the floor. He takes a shortcut, knocks the ball out of the way. Should have been a penalty to Hull.
Not given. O'Brien fortunate. Huddersfield Giants fortunate in the opening 5 minutes. It's their scrum feed just inside their own half of the field. And McGilvray comes down and tackle number 1. That's O'Brien. Here is Michael Lawrence, the captain for the night. Michael Lawrence, longest serving player in the Huddersfield ranks. His debut 11 years ago. Now here's Danny Brough. Brough missed everybody. Wardle has to be quick under pressure from Kelly. I think, has Kelly got it? He's claiming the ball. I'll be Kelly, but Wardle says no. That's mine. So Huddersfield have it here, and O'Brien goes past the first would-be tackler, that was Dean Hadley, but then comes up with the knock-on.
Sorry, I didn't see you with it. Sorry.
Well, they get the ball, and as they're looking to play, Adam O'Brien, he's got good push here from Dan Smith, the loose forward, but he can't get that pass away cleanly. The hole was there for Daniel Smith to go through.
Simon Wolford, 4 games in charge so far, 2 wins, 2 defeats, 50% success rate. The man who's brought in to replace Rick Stone, taking over from Chris Thorman, who held the fort while all the paperwork was sorted out to allow Wolford to take the position here. And this is Mickey Payer now for the Black and Whites. Grounded on the halfway line. O'Brien doing well, helped out by Akuma Tai. Houghton wanting to get on with it quickly, gives it to Scott Taylor.
Good footwork at the line as always from Scott Taylor.
And remember a try on his England debut off the bench in Denver the other week, Scott Taylor. Maloney is seeing plenty of the ball early.
I've got him in my dream team, Eddie. He's brilliant. He excites me. He makes mistakes. Things go wrong around him. There's certainly some action whenever the ball's near him.
This is Payer now. And Daniel Smith was first to him. Payer will play the ball here to Houghton. Hull are 20-odd metres away from the line. It's a high kick.
Good take.
And it's claimed again by McIntosh, but he's rolled into touch.
They're having a look at him over on that side. That the third or fourth occasion that he's had to deal with a kick.
This is as good as a 40-20 for Hull.
He's done everything right. Darnell McIntosh leaped up high, tried to get down, get the ball down on the floor, but excellent work by the Hull FC winger.
Well, you wouldn't need to be an experienced coach to look at the option. If you've got to kick to one of the 2 wingers, Jermaine McGilvray played in the World Cup final and was one of the best players, and the guy on the other wing just starting out his career, so that to me seems a simple decision. Kick it to the right side of the field for your team here and hope that you can trap him or make a mistake.
Yes, he might come up with a mistake or 2 in defence, Darnell McIntosh. We shall see, but he's the top try scorer for the Giants. That's off the fingertips of Logan, so they got away with that.
If that was cleaner, that would have been a try, that. Jack Logan, he gets hold of this ball now. Jermaine McGilvray, well, he pulls the trigger, turns his hips in there, and all of a sudden there's space out wide.
Be interested to see whether McGilvray gets a hand to it as he tries to shut it down. There's no option really. He has to come in, he has to have a go, he has to try and shut that player down like a basketball and knocking it down to the floor. This is the angle. No, he's nowhere near it.
Now you could lip read the touch judge on this near side. He shouted to Robert Hicks, Huddersfield, head and feed. And that's what they've got. And here they come. But Hadley is very quickly. Oh, and they forced another knock-on here. Well, it's a knock-on-a-thon, to use our dear friend Sean McRae's great phrase at the moment.
Well, lots of mistakes last week in the game that Huddersfield were a part of, and Hadley, physical player in the back row.
Interesting that they brought the left winger to take the first carry from a scrum. I know teams want to use the wingers as much as possible, but he's had lots of action. It's a tough run for him there.
Phil, do you think he might have asked for that and said, give me the ball, let me get it in my hands, let me try and cover up for that mistake? It doubled up on it, and his team have got to defend their own try line now.
They have to. It's with Scott, his young centre for the Black and Whites, only 18 years of age. He's played for Doncaster in the last 3 matches. Played the ball there to Farimo. Here is Kelly. Kelly then gives it to Hadley. And Hadley going down the middle is halted 10 metres shy of the line. 2 tackles gone though, plenty in the bank here for the Black and Whites as Houghton fires the pass, gets it away to Connor. Brilliant test debut for Jake Connor off the bench. Brilliant here too from Jake Connor. And Huddersfield having to work overtime to bring him down just shy of their goal line. There's a penalty.
Well, Danny Brough is the man who missed him over on the right-hand side, then chased him all the way over to the left-hand side. And he is a tremendous talent, Jake Connor. He wants to go with that defensive line. You're backing off, you can't back off. You've got to make sure you work with the defenders around you.
They did spend some time together whilst at Huddersfield Giants, but 2 very similar players, Jake Connor and Danny Brough. Headstrong, confident, and will have a go at anything.
Houghton finds Kelly. Kelly to Connor. Connor goes wide to Twimavavi. That's good work from Jordan Turner. He was first into him. And then he was finished off by Danny Brough. Here is Meludi again. And Mickey Payer tries to change the direction and fool Ukumatai. And he didn't manage to do that. Still danger here. Danger signals flashing for Huddersfield as Kelly takes it to the line. He's forced back. Oh, and I think they pinched the ball there, Gaskell. In fact, it's a steal. And there obviously were more than one man in the tackle.
Stolen, mate.
Well, 3 men in the tackle. More than the ball from Jake Connor to Albert Kelly, who ran hard at the line.
And they decide to keep turning the screw here with Scott Taylor. Look where they are. This is incredible pressure on this Huddersfield line. If they survive this, it'll be a great tick in the box for them. This is Farimo again. Top try scorer in his debut season, 14 in all for Hull FC. Scott is the man at dummy half. Fires the pass to Kelly. Kelly into centre field to Green. And Green trying to get away from O'Brien. Keeping the legs pumping is Chris Green. Back almost where they started again, a couple of metres away from that line. Houghton fires the pass into the arms of Connor. Connor then will find Meludi. Meludi to Twimavavi. Minicello's there in support. And it's great defence from Huddersfield on their own line. No wonder the Huddersfield fans are applauding. Meludi again at dummy half. The ball to Connor. Connor then dabs it to the in-goal area. It's going to be too long, but only just, my word, Kelly was just short of that. Went over the dead ball line. There'll be no try on the field, I'm sure of that.
I've got no try. Just confirm that whether he's gone dead before he grabs the ball.
Now this is well, it will be dead, won't it? Because even if it doesn't go dead in the air, it will go dead off the arms of Kelly.
Yeah, if he's outside the field of play and touches it, he'll be dead. First check to see that he's onside, and he is. So we just need to see whether he gets anything on this ball within the in-goal area. And that's what the video referee is looking at. You see, he probably gets a touch up in the air there. Does he take it all the way down? Well, it's on the dead ball line.
My word, he's closer than I thought.
So he's taking that ball dead. It'll be a 20-metre restart.
Closer than I thought, Albert Kelly. Just the width of the line denying him.
That was a tough period, that, for Huddersfield. They defended really well. Hull FC throwing an awful lot. You can see how close they go here. Well, the forwards from Hull FC, the metres after contact, have been very impressive in the opening 11 minutes.
It was self-inflicted pain for Huddersfield. They'd lost the ball in their own half. They did that 5 times last week in the first half of Hull KR. And if they do it again here, they're going to suffer some more pain.
Yes, it was self-inflicted, Phil, you're right, but at least they've proved here in the opening 11.5 minutes they can defend the line. As you say, they can't keep on doing that. This is Daniel Smith again. Now, Ukumatai. We missed him. Back in the side. He's missed the last 4 as Ukumatai. Brough have missed the last 3. It's Lawrence again. He'll get to his feet and will play the ball there to O'Brien. Gaskell now. Up in the air down the right-hand side. Farimo claims it. Murphy is all over his back. They're trying to force him over the dead ball, over the in-goal area. They just managed to put the brakes on there.
They need to turn the screw here. Meludi goes short side. It makes it harder for the next man who's going to carry the ball.
That man is Farimo.
And he is strong. Well, Huddersfield players thinking that they dragged Farimo over the try line. Some strong carries here.
Houghton into centre field to Connor, who goes for a 40-20 here. I think he's got the angle quite right. Will it sit in this in-goal area? No, it won't.
That was an ambitious kick, that. He knew his side needed those metres and that territory. Under pressure from Huddersfield, who just withstood some things over on the goal line. But Hull FC, the first examination, the first time they'd had to do the same, they passed that test.
Temperatures in the mid-20s here again tonight. The players feeling the heat, perspiring already quite heavily. And another wayward pass, but Murphy picks that particular ball up. And here is Jordan Rankin.
This is an interesting man, Rankin. He's one of only 5 players to play every minute of every match. I mean, he's had half the season at scrum half standoff, half the season at fullback, but we really need to get the best out of him tonight if we want to win this.
Brough was almost through then. Scott Taylor finishing him off on the ground. Brough looking for a penalty and getting one.
And he's got so much energy, hasn't he? He's also got an awful lot of skill. The former Man of Steel winner, Danny Brough. He gets through the line. Scott Taylor knows that he's lost that collision, tries to slow him down. Hull FC still scrambling. The referee, Robert Hicks, saying, nope, that's a penalty. Choosing to run it as well, Eddie, instead of going for 2 points.
I thought that Simon Woolford might have said, let's have the 2, because they've withstood so much pressure at their own end. It would be psychologically a great boost if they just edged ahead. Maybe they will with the try. Here's a Puma tie.
And sometimes, Eddie, they just need to keep it simple till they get down here, then open the players up.
Michael Lawrence, Houghton doing the tackling. O'Brien, 10 metres away, gives it to Brough. Brough then fires it to Gaskell. Gaskell tried to go on the inside shoulder of Connor. Good job that Maludi was there in reinforcements. Now it's Brough again. Brough gets a great ball away to Daniel Smith. And Huddersfield, having had all the pressure at the other end, have sprung forward and have scored the first try. Thumbs up from the coach, Simon Woolford. Daniel Smith with the try, only his 3rd try of the season. 6 in a row off the bench, starting tonight. Former Wakefield man. And well, why would you take 2 when there's 4 begging? And that's what Huddersfield decided, and that's what Huddersfield have got.
Well, they've had the same setup in attack all the time, and Danny Brough, the man who can cause an awful lot of problems, gets the penalty, goes down near to the sticks, and as soon as they get to the sticks, it's not the ball that's going to go out the back. He's got 3 runners to pick from. There's Aaron Murphy, Daniel Smith and Michael Lawrence. He hits the man in the middle and he just goes straight through the hole, Daniel Smith.
Lots of players can construct that play. Some other players, different types of players, can execute that play, but Danny Brough, who we've watched for lots and lots of years, can turn up. He's a running threat, he's got the skill, he can be the rabbit, the hat and the magician all in the same game.
Well, he played for England once in 2012. He's played 24 times for Scotland since. And Danny Brough, the former Hull man, he has the extras. And Huddersfield Giants lead 6-0 after 16 minutes.
Well, it's a great start for them, isn't it? Well, they had a great start last week and that amounted to nothing at the end of it, so they know they've got to maintain the standard and not increase it. But they've shown an ability here, close to opponent's line, with good field position. They can find a way through it and get over to score.
So Daniel Smith, the try scorer, hoping to add tonight Huddersfield to their 15 points from 7 wins and a draw so far. They've got a tough run in, but 3 of the 4 are at home this tonight. Wigan here next, Castleford away, and then Wakefield here. It's not going to be easy for Huddersfield if they're going to get out of this bottom 4.
It's going to be difficult. He said before the game to Brian Canny, said that it's a game that they've got to win here. You can't look forward, they've got to take every game as it comes. The first thing, making mistakes again.
That was Alex Mellor who dropped that. This is Hadley. It's a free play, this. And Maludi was almost through the line. He gets the ball back to Scott. Scott then finds Houghton. He booms the pass left and finds Connor. Connor goes further wide to Twimavavi. Brough comes in quickly, all over him, gets it away to Minicello. Here is Maludi once again. Dummy to pass the ball wide. Went round and round in a circle. Now releases the ball to Connor. Connor then into centre field. It's Chris Green. This Huddersfield defensive line standing firm thus far. But they have to weather 6 more tackles here. This is Scott Taylor driving for the line. I think he's held up.
Good defence underneath. I think it's Alex Mellor.
Tackle 1, Scott,
who
please.
gets underneath Scott Taylor.
Wasn't it Alex Mellor's mistake? He makes up for it if it was.
Well, it comes up with the player there, doesn't he? Clamps the ball.
Not bad against Scott Taylor. Here is Kelly, short ball to Hadley. Aaron Murphy in very quickly. Must say, so far, Huddersfield's defensive line has been excellent. This is Houghton. Drops the pass off again to Mickey Payer. Payer then releases the pass to Meludi. Meludi dabs the ball to the in-goal area, hits the deck as he chased it, looking for a penalty, not forthcoming. That was a gamble early in the tackle count.
A lot of offloads there for Hull FC. I'm sure that the coach, Simon Wolford, will say to his players, lock up that ball. We don't need to be doing effort on effort. And for Hull FC, the promotion of that ball, the offloads, as risky as they might be at the time, rewards may well come off the back of them.
Well, Hull were comprehensive winners in round one in the home meeting with the Giants in February, 38-12. It was the 50th meeting at super level between the two. Hull have got 30 wins. And Huddersfield playing with a lot of confidence here until Ikehefo puts the ball down.
First of all, it's the offload from Jermaine McGilvray, one of the most powerful wingers, not just in Super League, but in the world of rugby league. They're trying to play on the front foot. They get a nice clean offload there. O'Brien then with the ball to Clough, who in turn tries to give it to Ikehefo, and he just loses it. Not expecting it. Paul Clough probably better taking the tackle, really.
Absolutely, he takes the ball, tries to pass it in the same motion and gets an almighty whack. Paul Clough and Chris Green. No thanks, I'll just keep my head down next time, he'll say.
But a lot of errors from Huddersfield. Completing at 56% though.
The lucky thing is for them, Eddie, that I started saying that Hull are just as bad, really. They've had 10 sets and completed just 5, so they're at 50%.
Where's the mistakes on this? Whatever you call it, device. Here's Cameron Scott. Approaching the midway point of this first half, Kelly. Kelly gets it away to Houghton. Houghton then will find Connor. Connor short ball to Twimavavi. They're dealing with the threat of Carlos Twimavavi so far. McGilvray and Turner. Now it's with Connor. Drops the pass off and says to Taylor, you have a go. Last tackle coming up here for Hull as we go into the second quarter of the match. Connor keeps it alive. Hadley finds Kelly. Kelly dabs it looking for the winger. Farimo, he gets it. Beretta Farimo gets the try, timed the run perfectly. And he is the top try scorer in this his debut season. That's his 13th in Super League, his 15th try in all for the United States of American international. 7 tries now in his last 4 matches. What a finisher he is. He's had a couple of suspensions this year, having been red carded once or twice, but he's a talent.
Great response from Hull. Look at the movement. The offloads, talked about the offload being dangerous. There's a little subtle dummy from Dean Hadley. He looks like he's going to kick it. He then passes it on to Albert Kelly. We'll watch it here. This is a great angle to look at it. It just holds up the defenders, holds it in one hand. They get on their heels. Albert Kelly threads it through the line, and what a wonderful take from the winger.
It's a good kick, isn't it? Again, the attention, he attracts 5 players. Jake Connor and Hadley. You're right, dummies with that play. Albert Kelly puts it on the button, and it's a good finish for Hull FC, but all coming off the back of the mistake from Huddersfield. Straight into the corner, nice precision, good weight, and that's Hull FC back in the game.
So, Jake Connor with the chance to add the extras. Difficult kick, though.
Well, to be an excellent effort from him, he's pulled it and he's put it through, and it does not surprise me that. Do you know, the average Super League kicker converts about 75% of attempts. The best ones, Danny Brough, Luke Gale, Ryan Shaw, they get 80 to 85%. This guy's converted over 90% of his kicks so far this season. He's in a league above everybody else. And it's remarkable, he's had just 2 misses so far from 36 attempts, 2 or 3 misses. It's absolutely amazing effort there.
And when he kicks that ball, Phil, he turns round and smiles like he's not bothered whether it goes over or not. That's the approach and the attitude. He kicks that ball with no fear of failure.
Well, he's goal kicking, he's drop kicking, and he's field kicking. If you add all 3 together, I don't think there's anybody on a par with him.
Well, he certainly came to the attention of Wayne Bennett, the England coach. And he had a word, apparently, in the United States when they were over in Denver with his teammates. and he was persuaded to, I think the word he used, would take a chance on Jake Connor, and boy, did Jake Connor come up with the goods for him in the Test match, and isn't he doing it here this year for Hull FC, with the likes of Mark Sneed out of the picture for such a long time.
Well, what a replacement. Sensational that they've got somebody with that sort of accuracy. 33 from 36 attempts. Looks like he can't miss a present.
This is Taylor now.
I'm going to throw it out there. If we didn't have Ben Barber in this competition, I'm sure that we'd be talking about Jake Connor for Man of Steel. Everybody accepts that Ben Barber's been magnificent this year.
What a kick that is.
He's got everything. He obviously started his career as a professional player at Huddersfield, learned his trade at the Sidall Amateur Rugby League Club just down the road, and he's bounced about in various positions, but he's just a player who needs the ball in his hands.
Listen, I love Ben Barber as much as anybody. I think he's an exquisite talent, but why aren't we talking about Jake Connor as much?
We are.
You are now. Why aren't we?
Every time we see him on telly, we do talk about
Perhaps
him.
because he's moved around positions. This is one of the problems that Hull have got. They've got Albert Kelly, Mark Sneed, who you've probably got to pick at scrum half and stand off when they're both fitted, which means somehow they've got to find a place for Jake Connor, when naturally you probably pick him at scrum half or standoff if you just had him as the first player in your squad.
I remember James Roby got Man of Steel one year because of the impact he made when he came onto the field off the bench. Why aren't we? Let's talk about Jake Connor. They are as a possible Man of Steel.
Impact on the game, versatility within his team. He tops both of those categories most weeks.
It's a popularity contest though, with players, really, isn't it? Because it's who the players will vote for. So
there we go.
Hey, but we've got 10 more games to go, and I think most players forget what happened in the first 20 rounds. It's the last 10 when they end up making the vote.
So what you're saying is, if you don't like it, you ain't going to get the vote.
Well, maybe not, but if he plays well the next 10 games, you've got a great chance.
That's why Tez never got it, Eddie.
There's a number of reasons why Terry never got it.
No skill, no talent, no ability.
You've hit the nail on the head 3 times. Here's Danny Brough. He is a former Man of Steel. Let's reel up and under this, and he hacks it forward again himself. Didn't get much distance on it, obviously. Gave the possession back to the black and whites. Wigan Warrington 2v3 in the Betfred Super League. Tomorrow night, 7:30, Sky Sports Arena. Should be a corker of a game. By the way, this isn't bad. 6 apiece, 25 minutes or thereabouts on the watch.
Very good, Eddie. Just cut these mistakes out.
Yeah, there's been errors, hasn't there?
Yeah, there has. Keep playing. Huddersfield just don't invite Hull FC into the game and make it a proper contest here.
Here's Massi Matongo off the bench. 11 times now he's come off the bench, and he's a real handful. Houghton gives it to Kelly. Kelly then to Danny Washbrook. What a servant he's been for the black and whites. Not to say that every time we see them. Oh! Cameron Scott puts the ball down, free play for Huddersfield. Jordan Rankin has it.
Well, they'll be thankful that the youngster makes the mistake, Cameron Scott. But again, they've still got to get out of here, haven't they? The way that Huddersfield have been playing over the last 6 weeks, I think that they've really turned a corner, led by some important key figures, but also youngsters who've been given an opportunity.
Ikahihifo plays the ball to O'Brien. He finds Brough, who in turn finds Jermaine McGilvray. 2 tries in a narrow victory against the Catalan Dragons here a couple of weeks ago for Jermaine McGilvray. There's O'Brien. That's Hinchcliffe. He gets it away to Gaskell. Good hands. More good hands. Here goes Donnell McIntosh. Kelly just waited, used all his experience then. Waited for McIntosh to commit one way or the other. Snared the trap. Brough now in centre field. Left-footed little dab through. Collected by Minicello. Minicello is collected by Brough, chasing his own kick.
He's a consistent performer, isn't he, Mark Minicello? He knew exactly what Danny Brough was thinking. Then when he was going across the line, he was thinking he's going to try and thread it through. Puts himself in a perfect position.
Wasn't it nice play from Huddersfield over on their left side? Beautiful stuff. They can break the line of Hull FC. That final bit, Danny Brough took charge, threaded that ball through.
Connor's gone for another long kick. McIntosh is underneath it. Went early, looking for a 40-20. McIntosh gets them back to within 10 metres of halfway.
One of his previous kicks, he was just going for distance, knocked it off the field. sacrificed 7 players on that kick. Third play, didn't want to be down there in his try line, gets it away and tries to force Huddersfield into making those mistakes. Oliver Roberts on the pitch here. I think he's a tremendous player, a really good World Cup for Ireland.
Oh, he gets a penalty here.
First one, that's him, and now here.
And another player from the amateur club, the Siddle. The stable really does produce good players. Comes on, makes an impact, fights hard for that quick play of the ball. Gets his side some valuable possession and field position.
So Roberts gets the penalty. Huddersfield then begin this set just 22 metres away. Ikehihifo with the first drive in. What a drive it is as well. Ends up 15 metres away from the line. There's Adam O'Brien. It was Paul Clough. 50th Huddersfield appearance for Paul Clough. He's missed the last 2 matches. There's Hinchcliffe. That was Brough. Short ball. Good defence. No way through for Roberts. Roberts fighting to get to his feet. Taking a chance there where Hull FC, the right on the line. It's Hinchcliffe again. Oh, he's just
Good defence from Scott Taylor.
Ball comes back. It's Gaskell. Stabs the kick in. Chases it, Aaron Murphy. You can see what Simon Wolford thinks of that. Aaron Murphy, the man who's made the switch to the second row from the 3/4 in recent weeks and has come up trumps as Aaron Murphy try in 3 of 5 there prior to tonight, including last week's match against Hull KR, and here's another.
Well, the penalty led to the position. When Roberts comes onto the field, he's certainly made that impact, and there's a bit of a ricochet. Hinchcliffe going really close, and then all of a sudden you can see the setup on Huddersfield's left-hand side. Gaskell's pointing, drops it onto his boot, comes off Albert Kelly, and the man, as you say, who's moved into the back row. 46 tackles Aaron Murphy made last week. He wouldn't have made that in 5 games, Eddie, since going into the back row, and that's what Simon Wolford thinks about it.
Do you think that was a training ground move?
It is worth pointing out the work that Lee Gaskell does. He arranges and manoeuvres people around. He's pointing, pushing, communicating with the people around him, telling him where he needs them, and at the last minute, at the last moment, he puts that ball through. And yes, I think that everybody suspects the kick will be an option.
Is it Connor? Yeah.
Well, there you go. Brough has added the extras. Huddersfield nose in front again. 12-6, Aaron Murphy.
Well, I spent some time before the game talking to some Huddersfield supporters, and I asked them if they had to vote for a player of the season at this stage, who would it be? So all the 3 that I spoke to said that Aaron Murphy would win their vote. They think he's consistent, reliable, and puts himself in the right position more often than not. He's been there to take the second try for the Giants tonight.
He got the benefit of a nice little ricochet off Albert Kelly. Made full use of it. So Huddersfield lead 12-6. They're in possession again from the kickoff. Big Sebastien Ikehihifo.
Well, they're certainly backing themselves, aren't they? They've had 3 penalties in kickable range of the sticks, and they've ran it. On 2 of those occasions, they've scored tries. So they're certainly going out there attacking. They've got numbers at the line. And when they shift, they look okay as well.
Here goes McIntosh. Gets the Giants just over the halfway line, only just. And we play it there to O'Brien. Here is Clough. Good servant, Paul Clough. Ex-St Helens. It's with Brough again, left-footed off the outside of the boot. High kick. Proclaimed. Roberts then claimed Jack Logan. And he got a bang on the back of the head as well for his pains, did Logan.
It was a disciplined chase from Huddersfield. As soon as that ball goes in the air, they knew it was going to come down on Jack Logan's head. 3 players, Oliver Roberts and Danny Brough, just come down and hit him hard.
Something wrong with Twimavava. You see him in the back of the play there. He's receiving treatment as well. Not many of them, Huddersfield fans, but they're making a noise tonight. This is Hadley. That's a lovely dummy. Well watched, though, by Roberts. Looks like he might have turned an ankle. Minicello. Houghton kicking to get Hull FC up the other end. That's a good kick as well, but pouched by Jordan Rankin. At Hull 2014 and 15, 51 appearances, 23 tries for Jordan Rankin. Well, there you go. Chimamavave trying to run this knock off. Oh, he's got something to do here because McGilvery's gone round the first defender. He did well though, Chimamavave, he did his job. Here goes Jordan Turner now, short pass away.
They work well together, both of those winners. Again, Darnell McIntosh going to the other side, looking for work.
Lee Gaskell. Almost through. Well played by Washbrook. Oh, lovely feet from Rankin. Lovely feet from Jordan Rankin. Lovely try from Jordan Rankin. His first try of the season. What a time to score it. 7 minutes from half-time to increase the lead. 16 points to 6. Ever present this year. In fact, this is his 34th consecutive appearance. Jordan Rankin. Well, he burst onto the scene at Hull 2014-2015, and he's just burst onto the scene here tonight against his former club.
We'll take about the back three of the Huddersfield Giants. Jermaine McGilvery finds the edge, begins the momentum with a quick play to bump. Then Darnell McIntosh, who's had some difficult stuff to deal with, he gets on the end of that, and what a lovely left foot step from Jordan Rankin. As the defender sliding across, Albert Kelly can't do anything with it.
Explosive step, Baz, coming off that left foot. He knew that Albert Kelly was facing the wrong way, and he just accelerates through that hole.
And if you want your team to be in the top half of the table, you obviously need some try scores. You've just pointed out it's the first try for him so far this season. Last year, if you cast your mind back, Jake Mamo was scoring lots of tries in a full-back position for the Giants. He's only come up with 2 tries in the 9 matches he's played this year. Hence the reason why we're seeing Jordan Rankin in that role. But I think the coach will be delighted here now that the confidence returns to the full-back, getting across the try line.
And Danny Brough does not miss those. Huddersfield are 18-6 up. We've got 6 minutes to go. Jake Mamo. Well, he used to have long hair, didn't he? Now he's obviously had a trip to the barbers.
Shaved it off the other week for charity. I'll find the name of the charity, but well done, Jake Mamo.
Okay, let's go down to Bill on the side.
Surprised to see Carlos Chimamavave still out there. He's got heavy strapping now on that right ankle, but as that try was scored just after Rankin went in, Carlos Chimamavave looked to the sidelines and suggested that he wasn't going to be able to continue. Well, they're keeping him out there, of course, half-time approaching, so presumably keep him out there, see if the ankle problem wears off.
There it is. He does have some strapping on it. And what are we away from half-time? About 5 minutes. So they'll try and keep Huddersfield away from him if they can, and then assess things during the break. They're playing with a lot of confidence here, Huddersfield. And it's not the side that were soundly beaten 37 points to 10 last week against Hull Kingston Rovers. This is Ryan Hinchcliffe.
Got a lot of confidence with the likes of Jacob Wardle and Darnell McIntosh, haven't they, over on the left? They do favour it. They come in this side again.
Whoa, that's a big hit. Aaron Murphy certainly felt that. Cameron Scott, take a bow.
Well, straight underneath the ball carrier, Murphy. Look at this. He'd lost possession before he got hit, but he stood his ground, planted his feet, was going to hit him no matter what.
Just an update on the charity that Jake Mamo is involved in. Still open. He's just giving Page, and he's going to split the proceeds between the Little Princess Trust and the Calm charity campaign against living miserably.
Good on him, Jake Mamo. That's the reason he had the head, well, not exactly shaved. It's not a Terry O'Connor.
Well, but it's shorter.
He's got 100% more hair than Terry.
Come on, it's not hard to be fair, is it?
No. Minicello.
I've got more on the back of my hand, Eddie.
This is Brad Fash gets it away to Kelly. Kelly looks for the runner, and the runner arrived in the shape of Meludi. Washbrook now into centre field. It goes to Kelly. Kelly then to Hadley. Short ball to Fash. The Huddersfield fans believe that was forward. Robert Hickson's touch judges don't.
Well, they didn't it?
Houghton to Hadley. Back it comes to Kelly. Here's Washbrook. There's the tip on. It didn't quite come off for Lee Radford's men.
Seemed a bit of panic from Maludi. He knew that if he could get the ball out here, well, there could be a try, but it just wasn't quite deep enough. Darnell McIntosh read the situation, knew that if he jams in and puts enough pressure on Maludi, the fullback.
It is the sign of a really good player, mentally strong. Darnell McIntosh, who's had some attention with some high kicks, made a couple of mistakes, but he's been on the good side of things now. Well done to that young man.
Well, Hull lost 6 in a row here, including a club record 18 points to 76 defeat in the 2013 playoffs against Huddersfield. But since then, Hull have won each of the last 2 visits. Well, they have a real scrap on their hands if they're to make it 3 in a row at the John Smith Stadium tonight, because Huddersfield, having, it must be said, a shaky old start, have settled the ship down nicely, playing well. This is Turner.
It's just when they control the ball. And obviously, you need to work your way up the field. You can't be making the mistakes inside your own area. They go into this left-hand side again with Jordan Rankin. When they play off power with the likes of Akumatai or Ekahihifo, they certainly do cause any teams problems because they are so powerful and robust.
Here's Brough again. Charge down it was, back to 1. Referee wipes the tackle count clean, and what's more, Minicello gives away a penalty because he wouldn't let Danny Brough get back to his feet.
Well, this could be very significant. Terry's made reference. 2 penalties led to 2 Huddersfield tries. He's going to kick this ball and end up about 30 metres from the whole try line. And he's going to have a minute and a half or so here as he get the ball back, and then he's held down by Minicello and co. This is a perfect opportunity here now. The crowd here are doing their best here to lift the Giants for one last push.
And here they come with that man Brough. Here's Ekahihifo. He's on his 60th Huddersfield appearance. Is Sebastien. He's yet to score for them. This is the moment, Seb, as Clough comes forward. Ekahihifo is loitering with intent. This is Hinchcliffe. There is Brough. Good hands. Jordan Turner is held up just short. It's Brough again. Ryan Hinchcliffe goes back where it all began. Minicello was waiting for him. That's foregone into the last minute of the first half. Back he comes to Brough. Drop goal from Danny Brough. Trademark Brough. They'll go in with a 19-6 advantage at the break. 3 scores.
Well, he takes control. I think everyone was expecting him for a crossfield kick, but on the 4th play, he didn't want to waste another tackle. He knew exactly where he was, perfect position, and knocks over an easy 1 point.
Just signed a new extension to his contract, hasn't he, Danny Brough here? And there must be 1 or 2 people scratching their heads, because Danny, after all, is 35 years of age. But he's good value for money.
He's an exceptional player, and all that rugby league knowledge might be imparted into players like Ollie Russell, who misses out tonight because Danny Brough returns. But Oliver Russell hasn't let anybody down, and a young man with a tremendous future at this club and in the game of Rugby League, Super League.
McGilvray to his feet, I was going to say just gets to play the ball in before the half-time siren sounds, but he actually doesn't. Well, they will be delighted. The Huddersfield fans are in the bleachers here tonight. He won't be, Lee Radford, because he's got some work to do. His team trailed 6-0, courtesy of Smith's try and Brough's goal after a quarter of an hour. He got back into it 6 minutes later with Farimo's try, which Connor improved. But then we've had 2 tries in 4 minutes. First from Aaron Murphy, then 1 from Jordan Rankin, former Hull man. Brough's added both goals, and what's more, he just rubbed a little salt in the whole wound with a drop goal right on the stroke of half-time. Huddersfield Giants 19, Hull 6 at the break.
Shoulder into the ribs and then leg drive from that point.
We came here to stay in touch with friends. And we got to know the friends of our friends. Then our mum, our ex, and our workmates joined in to wish us happy birthday. Then we discovered our uncle used to play in a band and realised he was young once too. We found others just like us. And just like that, we felt a little more connected to the world. We didn't come here for clickbait, spam, fake news, and data misuse. That's not okay. Which is why Facebook is changing. From now on, we'll do more to put you in control and help protect your privacy. To help you enjoy more of what you came here for in the first place. Friends. Because when this place does what it was built for, then we all get a little closer.
Look, I haven't got the strength to keep arguing with you. I'm leaving.
Sorry, sir, you can't leave. You're still within your contract, unless you wish to pay a penalty fee.
Breaking up's never easy. But unlike other networks, Vodafone has a 30-day service guarantee. So if you don't love us, you can leave us.
Footballers from different nations. I have flown many miles to talk to you today about this.
Because with just one goal shot, any of you fine specimen can and will
change the world! Here we go. I'm backing the USA. Now then, where are they?
Don't bet silly.
Where's the USA?
Bet savvy.
Win a share of £25,000 in cash with the World Cup Build-A-Bet leaderboard at coral.co.uk. The smart money's on Coral.
Would you like a Coca-Cola Zero Sugar?
Never had one. How?
Mentally, this is tough. Physically, it's tough. This one's not going to disappoint.
In a mouth-watering repeater.
I've lost my wife, my daughter, my job, my whole life to this stupid bloody thing. Lucky me.
The new series, Stan Lee's Lucky Man, Friday the 20th of July at 9 on Sky One. And if you missed out on the first 2 series of Lucky Man, both seasons are available now with Sky box sets.
You've got to grind the team down.
An 8-wicket win for India in the first T20. The second is on tomorrow from Cardiff. Sky Sports Cricket 5 p.m. for that, and then it moves to Bristol for what might be the decider 1:30 on Sunday, England-India. Formula One, well, it's a busy weekend. It's the British Grand Prix from Silverstone. Practice 1, 9:45 a.m. Sky Sports Formula 1, 1:45 p.m. for Practice 2. That is tomorrow. Practice 3, of course, Saturday, 11:15 start for that. And then on Saturday at 1 p.m. qualifying will start. The race 12:30 midday on Sunday. Welcome back to Game 1 of Round 20 of the Betfred Super League. We are at the John Smith Stadium in Huddersfield, where the home side have a healthy 19 points to 6 lead, over Hull FC. Hull chasing a place in the top 4. Huddersfield chasing a place in the top 8. Both highly motivated. Quick look at the stats. Simon Woodfield, the Huddersfield Giants coach, said he was looking for a higher completion rate than they served up in defeat against Hull Kingston Rovers last week. He has got it in the first 40 minutes, 75% to Hull FC's 63%. Low missed tackle count from both sides, 5 for Huddersfield and 6 for Hull FC. Possession split exactly down the middle. Right, we came here talking about the motivation for both of the sides. Hull want to stay in touch with the top 4. Huddersfield want to get into the top 8. These are two sides that have started and played this first 40 minutes that look like they're almost level on the table.
They do. What I will say about Huddersfield right from the outset, though, for a side that is absolutely in a must-win situation this evening, they're playing with a remarkable amount of composure. They had a couple of drop balls early on. They've really settled into a rhythm here, haven't they? Faraimo scores a try to answer back to Smith's early opener. This was on the 20-minute mark. where I think Huddersfield really took control of the game. It's culminated in the Aaron Murphy try on a 30-minute mark. We're going to have a closer look at the build-up to that in a minute.
That pushed them into a 12-6 lead. They extended that to 18 points to 6 when Jordan Rankin cut through defence relatively easily and then finished with a Danny Brough drop goal. Push it to a 19-6 lead.
And how significant may that be as well? I thought, it was an option. You could see it coming. They had 20 or 30 seconds left on the clock. Real composure shown by them throughout the majority of that first 40.
Just before we go and have a look at the Aaron Murphy try, I mean, credit to Huddersfield. They score first after being under tremendous amount of pressure from Hull FC, not just from the kicks across the corner of Darnell McIntosh. A lot of try-line defence needed before they open the scoring.
Looked a lot stiffer, haven't they, in the tackle? It's not really a coaching term, but you look at that and they didn't look like they were under a great deal of pressure. They didn't look like they were about to break. They looked stiff, confident in defence and very composed.
OK, let's look at what you like about the Huddersfield Giants through the prism of Aaron Murphy's try.
Yep, from the penalty that leads to the try. This was from the holding down from Minicello on Danny Brough. Take it forward. So we'll run through it play by play. And this is the first thing I like. So at the point of contact here, Ike Hihifo has attracted, in the first instance, 3 defenders. It turns out to be 4 Hull defenders. Have a look at where he catches that. He's just over 20 metres out. It's the post-contact metres. Play 1. He's taken an extra 7 or 8 metres, or let's say 5 or 6 if we're conservative, out of the defence. Then they go to Clough. Yes, this is a settled play, but what I want you to have a look at now, if you're the Hull FC defence, Brian, the shape that they've got, these are options, viable options. This guy in particular, a threat, that there would worry a defence, particularly in the position in the field where they are. They take a shot right and force, I think, because of the good movement of Roberts, into a try-saving play.
The reload impresses me here. Players knowing what they're doing, both sides of the ruck. And again, as you say, that puts a lot of question marks in the minds of the Hull FC defenders here.
Yeah, Gaskell was the option out the back for the pass that eventually went to Ollie Roberts from Danny Brough. Gets back round, and not only that, look at the talk and the chat he's got in placing people in the right positions as he does that. He's brought a player with him. This goes to Hinchcliffe, again forcing scramble because of the movement around and inside and outside of the players, forcing Hull FC into scramble defence. It's not, this entire set has been uncomfortable for the black and whites on their goal line. That, it's exactly Huddersfield's aim. It is a different Huddersfield Giants team than I've been watching for the first 10-15 rounds of Super League, and it must be an altogether different experience playing as well, because now we focus and we zoom in on the player who's about to get the ball, Lee Gaskell, and have a look at the snap decision here. This is a side that is playing with a confidence that belies their position in the table. Nice ricochet, and Aaron Murphy scores the try, but just the willingness to do things like that, I think, given where they are and what they need to do to achieve their aim of a top 8 finish, I think he's looking really good.
They have a 13-point lead, but you emphasise the Danny Brough drop goal, feeling that may become important. I suppose reference to what Hull FC did in that first 40 minutes. Threw plenty at Huddersfield. Maybe didn't get the rewards in the first 40 minutes, but it is there. It is in their locker.
There's no doubt about it. Because of the size of that Huddersfield pack and what they're going to bring off the bench and the conditions that we've been playing in over the last couple of weeks, there will be some fatigue creeping into that Huddersfield side. Confidence is a frail thing as well, isn't it? If it's newfound, it's easy lost. And Hull, I think, are old stages, and they'll be patient enough, and they'll be willing to take this to the 79th, 80th minute if need be.
OK, Hull FC, remember, chasing a top 4 spot. Huddersfield, well, with a win, they would push Leeds into the bottom 4 and propel themselves back into the top 8, a place they will want to remain up until round 23 at least. Chris Thorman in behind new coach Simon Wolford, delivering his final few words before the second half. Lee Radford and Hull are 3 points outside the top 4, currently sitting in 5th spot. If results go against them this round, they may be as many as 5 points outside the top 4. Not quite a mountain to climb, but it would make it a difficult proposition to climb back into the 4 for the semi-finals. Right, we've got the second 40 minutes of game 1 of round 20 of the Betfred Super League on the way. Eddie and the boys standing by. Stay with us.
Would you like a Coca-Cola Zero Sugar?
Never had one. Now.
For travel, I trust Kayak. They search hundreds of travel sites to find the best flight offers for me. For everything else, I trust myself.
Every man has a weakness. Your weakness is your family. Let it burn.
I'm gonna make it out alive.
My family is trapped 200 floors in the air. We're gonna get out of here. I promise.
Skyscraper.
Look, I haven't got the strength to keep arguing with you. I'm leaving.
Sorry, sir, you can't leave. You're still within your contract, unless you wish to pay a penalty fee.
Breaking up's never easy. But unlike other networks, Vodafone has a 30-day service guarantee. So if you don't love us, you can leave us.
We came here to stay in touch with friends. And we got to know the friends of our friends. Then our mum, our ex, and our workmates joined in to wish us happy birthday. Then we discovered our uncle used to play in a band and realised he was young once too. We found others just like us. And just like that, we felt a little more connected to the world. We didn't come here for clickbait, spam, fake news, and data misuse. That's not okay. Which is why Facebook is changing. From now on, we'll do more to put you in control and help protect your privacy. To help you enjoy more of what you came here for in the first place. Friends. Because when this place does what it was built for, then we all get a little closer.
This July, Sky Sports brings you the best sporting events from around the world.
Definitely dreams.
Feel it all this July on Sky Sports.
The atmosphere is electric tonight in what promises to be a dramatic dogfight.
I knew I should have taken a job at Arsenal.
That was an absolute wicked kick, that.
Well, the third and final State of Origin battle from Australia is coming up on Wednesday, but available now on demand, the highlights of the first two matches in the series. And on Wednesday, Queensland take on New South Wales for the third time. It's a 10 o'clock start on Sky Sports Arena on Wednesday morning. Half-time here at the John Smith Stadium, and Huddersfield are leading by 19 points to 6 against Hull FC. Let me give you a little history lesson, because Hull, like Huddersfield, were promoted to Super League in 1998. Hull came up as Division 1 champions. Huddersfield were runners-up that year. They actually beat Hull at Old Trafford in the 1997 Divisional Premiership Final at Old Trafford that year. Now, Hull have been in ever since. Huddersfield have taken the place of Paris Saint-Germain when they dropped out in 98. They've been relegated once, but they bounced back immediately in 2002. So we're watching two sides with plenty of Super League pedigree here, and a big 40 minutes lying ahead for both of these sides. Huddersfield desperate to get into the top 8 to avoid the rigours, and boy, they will be rigorous this year. The qualifiers for the bottom 4 against the top 4 of the Championship, and there's some quality up there. Hull, of course, have got ambitions of their own to get into the top 4, which means the playoffs and the semi-finals at the end of 30 rounds, and then they'll be just 80 minutes away from Old Trafford. But as they say, a lot of water to run under the bridge before all that.
Another 40 minutes to go in this game as well, Eddie, and both teams don't really need to push the pass, and probably just need to be a bit patient when they get the opportunities, take those opportunities. High kick goes down the centre field there to Maludi.
Claims it well. Gaskell, though, and Brough and Clough claim him after he hits the deck. Perfect timing.
He is all action, the fullback, the young Frenchman. Like this man as well. Frimo been sent off twice this year in his debut year in Super League.
possibility there that Ferrimo moved off the mark, but Robert Hicks keeps the whistle in the pocket. And Danny Houghton loops the pass to Dean Hadley. Here comes Brad Fash, and he's handed down. The Huddersfield defence was impressive in the first half. It started this opening set of the second in the same sort of vein. Was that high from Murphy under the chin of Hadley? No. They reached tackle number 5, and there is the penalty.
You know, I was looking at him thinking, do you know, that's a decent set, that from the forwards. They really control the go forward from Hull FC. It was one-up carries, but they really stood tall, and the play was for the interference of the player the ball or on the floor. It really is disappointing on the last play.
Hull looking for the first score of the second half here with Brad Fash. They want to come out of the blocks quickly. It was a real coach killer for Simon Wolford. The fact that the tackle came on the last one, the penalty rather came on the last one. Here is Washbrook now. Kelly, dummy half, fires the pass to Houghton. He finds Hadley. And Hadley tries to straighten them up. Down he goes.
Wait for the football.
It's Houghton again, 10 metres out. Down the short side he comes with Minicello. There are 4 Huddersfield jerseys there, making sure he doesn't make any further progress forward. Roberts is one of them. Hadley, into centre field, it goes to Kelly. Kelly booms the pass into the chest of Cameron Scott. Look out, Donham. Oh, now then, did Maludi trip him there?
No, he just ankle tapped him, Eddie, I think. He knew he was going to pull away from him. They missed out on a chance, though. There was a little lead ball then, and sure Hull FC would have scored a try.
I think you're right, says there was a number of options available. There's the ankle tap. Did look a little bit,
elbow, was it?
Yeah, did look a little bit awkward. But I agree with Tez on the right-hand side for Hull FC. They had a number of options. They probably chose the most difficult one, made the mistake, and Huddersfield have got the ball, who defended really well. The previous set, the black and whites only made 23 metres. So good effort from the Giants in defence.
Here they come again with Paul Clough, trying to get away from Brad Fash and Dean Hadley. Adam O'Brien is the dummy half. Once again it's a Kahihi foe. Touched by black and whites. 0. Chip over the top into the arms of Jack Logan, but it will come back for the original offence. Right, I think we better get the half-time news before anything else happens. Down to Bill on the side.
Eddie Lee Radford looking for a big improvement from his side in virtually every aspect of the game. They can be better in defence, they can be better in attack, show more patience. They really have been snatching at the opportunities that have come their way, and that has led to errors, and they can be better with the kicking game as well, put more pressure on the Huddersfield Giants. So the Hull FC coach really looking for his side to step it up. If they can do that, combine all that, they reckon they can turn this around. And Huddersfield Giants coach Simon Wolford pretty pleased with his side, but still looking for improvement, especially in attack, where they too have fumbled 1 or 2 chances. Very pleased with their defensive effort, just the 1 try conceded, and that is what they're going to build this second half on.
And at the moment they're laying siege to the Hull FC line from that little knock on, and they're just 5 metres away. Brian finds Brough then finds Gaskell. Over the top it goes, and just too long. And Jermaine McGilvray knows that had he taken that in cleanly, he was in for a try.
Well, always a difficult pass to throw, a looping ball over the top to get over the top of a defender. And Jack Logan, when he comes in here, the ball's just too high for Jermaine McGilvray. He's got good vision, Gaskell. Well, that pass just isn't good enough.
No, and Jermaine McGilvray isn't the smallest player on the field either. And he was leaping for that.
He was in field a little bit too much.
He needs to be on the touchline.
You would back Jermaine McGilvray most times to hold his position, hug the chalk, and make sure if he is out wide, his standoff Gaskell can find him.
Well, you would back him because he scored 137 tries in Super League for this club. The only Huddersfield player to get above the century mark in Super League. They've been impressive in defence, though, tonight, haven't they?
I think this many tackles last week actually gets Hull clear. They just spent so long close to the own try line that they almost fell over it a few times, and then they compounded it with a few more problems. But they have defended particularly well. Hull need some place to try and go forward. That's the basic. They're going wide here with this one, but they've got to start to make some ground.
No look pass from Connor finds Minicello. Minicello is Grounded just over halfway on tackle number 4. Houghton tries to inject a little bit of spirit, gets it away to Matongo, but he can't release the pass. So that's the 5th. Last one coming up here then. Expect the kick maybe from Connor or Kelly. There it is, right-footed, and now the chase is on. McIntosh has been good under those all night.
Back onto plan A now, making sure he's under pressure. He's got bodies and chasing defenders in front of him. He completes his first task.
Grasps the ball, hits the deck quickly, just in case. Here's Jordan Turner, another ex-Hull man, 2010-2012. To another one at dummy half, Rankin, score of a try in that first half, his first try of the season. 19-6, the Giants lead, in possession here, once again with McGilvray.
Good work from the outside backs, knowing that the forwards are doing a lot of work, getting it helping.
Great ball away to Hinchcliffe. Here goes Roberts. Looks like Twimavavi has brushed up okay in the second half after that turn over the ankle. There's a little knock on here, though.
Roberts loses that ball under pressure from Twimavavi. Problem with Jermaine McGilvray. Nova Roberts, when he's trying to ride that title, just loses possession.
And his gum shield's out. Unusual for a rugby player to either lose his gum shield or spit his gum shield out. There's the knock on. It's a heavy challenge. Lovely offload from the winger. Difficult to see how the injury has come about. McGilvray, not the type of player to stay down unless he's injured.
See how we go.
Looks like he's okay, getting back. Big favourite here. England international, 13th cap.
Exactly. We were hoping
won the other week.
Go out.
So, Hull back in possession. That's a solid run from Jack Logan. He was an England Academy international 4 years ago, Logan. Masi Matongo. Only seems to know one way, the big fella, and that's up the middle. Houghton gets it away to Connor. Twimavavi. Beaten by sheer weight of numbers. Houghton again. Away it goes to Hadley. Short ball then to Scott Taylor. That's 4 gone. They're 12 metres away. It's with Kelly. Tucks the ball under the right wing. Gets to within 3 or 4 metres of the line. Last tackle coming up here. Houghton to Connor. Slides the kick in all along the deck, but Brough read the situation perfectly. And Connor following up gets him down.
No, I think this Huddersfield side don't mind defending. If you think about the only try that they conceded, it was from a kick and it was in the corner. Hull FC are not managing to penetrate them up the middle. They're a big side, but Huddersfield, even though they've been under pressure from kicks like this during the game, they're rising to the challenge. They're building from the defence and taking it into attack.
McIntosh again. This isn't a bad set defensively so far for Hull, though. Only 23 metres made in the 4 tackles thus far. Hinchcliffe doesn't make many more forward. That's tackle number 5, 33 metres. So the kick from Brough will have to be good. And he obliges. And he finds the ground. He splits the defenders, but it's going to run too long. It's going to be a 7-set restart on the 20-metre line.
Sometimes, Eddie, when you're in under pressure, you don't mind them sort of kicks. Said he was struggling to make metres, just 33 carrying the ball, but then to kick the ball off the field and then gain some valuable metres up near the opposition's line. Look, the first tackle there, they've only made a couple of metres.
Who's this penalty for? It's for the Huddersfield Giants, because as Maloney got to his feet, he put the shoulder in, and O'Brien hit the deck.
Well, I said it was in my dream team. It's a bad dream at the moment for Lee Radford, because this could be a turning point here now in the match. I've said things happen around him. He's interfered with a Huddersfield player. I mean, I think he's gone down a little bit easier than Adam O'Brien, but he has got his hand around his leg.
Well, I think the issue from Malouda's point of view, is that he's jammed his knees out the side of his head, and I think he was trying to loosen that grip, but referee's seen as a tackle against the marker.
Well, Huddersfield won't be complaining because they are here deep in the black and white territory with Hinchcliffe 10 metres out. He goes down. Simon Mulford believes that there might be something else on here as O'Brien fires the pass to Brough. He finds Ikehihi Foe. He was nearly through. Washbrook all over him, plays the ball correctly. O'Brien, Brough again, back it comes. Here's McGilvray, Logan is after him. Logan hanging on to the ankles, loses him. Good job those three there. What a handful he is, Jermaine McGilvray.
Oh, strong, isn't he? Tremendous speed as well.
Here's Brough again. Finds Gaskell. Gaskell goes wide and further wide. Darnell McIntosh gets the key of the door on his 21st birthday today, and perhaps has given Huddersfield an unassailable lead with half an hour to go. That was a lovely work try. There's a top try scorer. It's a modest 7 now. Lee Radford, he knows that his team have to come from behind. They knew that at half-time, and the hill has just got slightly higher.
Just reward for some committed defence. Here's the penalty at the play of the ball. Maludi grabbing the knee, ankle, back of the leg of Adam O'Brien. They go over to the right. Have a little examination through Jermaine McGilvray over on that side. Come over to this left side. Darnell McIntosh, the grateful recipient, but wonderful hands. Nice passing, good movement. What a quality try there.
That's a great ball from Jacob Wardle to get McIntosh free from one side of the pitch to the other. Another penalty. They choose to run it. I love the attitude of this Huddersfield side tonight. They don't want to knock over the 2 points. They're going for the 6 points. And the way that they play, they're just growing in confidence time after time. And that's a big blow.
Yes, Sebastian Ikehihifo is being helped from the field. That is a blow for Simon Wolford, but it's a bigger blow that young Darnell McIntosh has just struck. A lovely pass from 19-year-old Jacob Wardle to 21 today, Darnell McIntosh. 7th try of the season. 2 tries in the Super 8 win against Hull last August for him. 1 here tonight. Now then, Danny Brough. This is the most difficult kick he's faced. He's 3 from 3. He's over on the left-hand side. Can he add the extras? And the answer is yes, he can. On top of his game tonight, Danny Brough on his comeback from suspension. But that's the sad side for Ikehihifo and the Huddersfield Giants.
You can see there, I think the tackler is involved with the injury there to one of the legs shortly after that. He's twisted, he's in immediate pain. Let's hope we can fix that up, and he's not out for too long. But you're right to reference the pass from Jacob Wardle. That was a difficult skill to his winger there, who's just direct to his toots. A difficult skill, and the hardest thing was not to pass the ball forwards because of the body of his angle and the pace with which it was all taking place. To twist and turn and pass the ball sideways, brilliant piece.
As I said in the first half, he's the younger brother of Joe Wardle. As Hull get a penalty here. He had an explosive debut, did Jacob Wardle, against Widnes in May. 2 tries, then he was sin-binned, and he got a 3-match ban for a tackle on Hanbury, and here is a penalty that goes for a tackle without the ball on Scott Taylor. So a chance for Hull to respond, and they need a response. Houghton to Taylor, short ball to Hagley. But the way Huddersfield are defending, Lee Radford, I think, knows that his team have to come up with something special, even from this range. Maybe Kelly can. Maybe Maludi can. Maludi gets over. He's got that ball down all right, no problem there. And Robert Hicks gives it without reference upstairs. So they've immediately responded. That's something that he would have wanted. And Maludi, remember, the man who gave away the penalty down there for the latest Huddersfield try, makes amends immediately.
Yeah, well, he needed a good touch, didn't he? There's the penalty. Interference on Scott Taylor by Ryan Hinchcliffe. The ball goes out here, and Maludi, very strong, runs the ball in well, gets rid of Lee Gaskell, bunks him off, and he's not afraid to go at the defensive line, have a real dig at it. If there's nothing on and he can't set free one of his players outside him, he'll take on that line himself.
Back in your dream team, Phil?
He is, and he is now even more. You know, his team. We've got to finish on our hands here. We've certainly got some interest in this game. I couldn't understand what Ryan Hinchcliffe was thinking with the short restart. I mean, I thought the penalty that Maludi conceded was needless, but the one here to set up this field position, crazy that they didn't even just contest the ball when it was kicked in his range. He's finished it well, and he's given the Hull supporters some hope.
What about the hands from Albert Kelly? Ducks down, that ball is down around his ankle. He has the skill and agility to pick the ball up. But let's not forget Huddersfield now, with big men, are one player down. It's unlikely, or we might get an update that Ikihihi thought will come back. Certainly limping off the field, it looked unlikely.
Well, he played Hakim Maludi for Doncaster this year. He got 32 points for Doncaster and a 70 points to 10 victory against Coventry. These players have to somehow find a way, don't they, to get into Super League?
Well, it's fascinating. He was playing in France, and Vinnie Anderson, who once played in the Super League, just contacted the Hull club and said, listen, there's a kid playing in our team, you've got to give him a chance. He came over, played for Hull reserves, and after one game, they signed him. Probably not surprising he scored 4 tries in that one match, but he's been on trial and played at Doncaster, been in the country now for about a year. His English has improved, and so has his game.
All the beauties of reserve team rugby league, eh? Finding and spotting players who aren't under 19 could be the future.
Here comes Massi Matongo again. There's another one who falls into that category, really, isn't he? 22 years of age. Kelly with a high kick now. This is spiralling everywhere. McIntosh does well. What a chase from Albert Kelly. Enthusiasm from Kelly.
Well, what a chase from Kelly, but what a take from McIntosh. Look at that, he knows he's under pressure. Huddersfield now will get a penalty. Hull FC, after scoring that try, are certainly trying to up the speed and dictate the tempo, whether they've got the ball or they haven't got the ball.
And Kelly just a bit high on Jacob Wardle.
Well, he knows
why the penalty's given.
He knows he's one of those leaders, that he holds the key to the door, Albert Kelly.
13 points adrift, Hull. Still plenty of time, 25 minutes or thereabouts. Wigan, Warrington tomorrow night, second in the Betfred Super League table against third. Warrington win that one, they get to join Wigan on points. Long way to go before the Super 8s and the playoff semi-finals, of course, but it would be a big blow for Warrington if they could get one over on Wigan. Had 3 great games against them this year. It's 2-1 in Warrington's favour so far. And of course, Warrington knocked Wigan out of the cup not long ago. That smarts around the Wigan area. They'll want revenge tomorrow. Meanwhile, 13 points here, the lead for Huddersfield, who are on the attack with Brough. Here now is Roberts. Down he goes. Last tackle coming up for Huddersfield. Hinchcliffe to Brough, showed it one way, gave it the other. Murphy released the pass. Oh, flick pass over the top to that man McIntosh. He's got speed, backs himself, but straight into the arms of Minicello. Minicello doing well to clear his lines.
For the second time in this game, he swept up at the back. Minicello, McIntosh needed a bit more distance on that.
Well, if Hull to win this game, Eddie, they've got to play remaining minutes faster than their opponents, both with and without the ball. If I was critical of the black and whites last week, I didn't think they had as much enthusiasm as win this, but they managed to get a win. They're going to have to do far more here now to overcome a determined Huddersfield side, playing far quicker, more intensity with around the ball.
Houghton, that's Hull over halfway. Goes down tackle number 4. Hinchcliffe was all over him, and Houghton was looking for the penalty. Oh, and a good run here from Washbrook. Washbrook gets away. Gets the ball away as well. Maludi, he shrugs off Murphy. He's after a second. Well, Phil will be at home tonight dreaming about this fella. It's now with Kelly. Stabs the kick in. Oh, looking for Taylor, but to the rescue comes Ryan Hinchcliffe. Goal line dropout coming up.
It's amazing what a good couple of sets can do for you.
Well, they're energised on the back of Maludi's try. Washbrook spins through the tackle. He's looking for the support at Huddersfield, but then scrambled back here to deny them. Well, only maybe for 6 more plays.
He's powerful, isn't he? He's not the biggest, Maludi. Got good footwork. We saw when he scored that try. The kick there, the ricochet. Scott Taylor and Albert Kelly with the pressure.
A lot of credit must go to the substitute. Danny Washbrook plays all over the place for FC. Showed composure when he made the break, didn't force the pass. When he felt like the offload was safe, he found his fullback. Been a great servant to the game, and Hull FC and Wakefield in between.
Indeed he has. He missed the first round win against Huddersfield up at the K-Con.
Well, they won't want to lose Oliver Roberts as well as Ikahihi fought. No. Down on 2 forwards if he has to leave the field.
I think he's going behind the goal for this goal line dropout.
This is where he gets injured. He just seems to just roll his ankle.
Simon Wilford's men under a little bit of pressure here. Danny Brough in no hurry, but the clock has stopped. Now it restarts. Back comes Farimo, but not far. It's with Scott Taylor.
I think both of these sides now need a 10-minute spell. Will they come out on top?
Houghton. This is Connor. Finds Minicello. Went underneath Brough. It was a good job, but Roberts was okay with Hinchcliffe. Meludi finds Connor again, just drops the ball off into the arms of Mickey Payer. Mickey Payer is still going. Now he's halted just short of the line. And it's a penalty.
Well, that was a stubborn run, wasn't it? It's forced the whistle of the referee. Momentum hasn't stopped. The defenders hadn't managed to control Mickey Payer, who just kept going.
Oh, can they control Scott Taylor, because he just keeps going as well.
Hold! Release, Dan! Hold!
Underneath
Play it, Scott.
the Giants' posts, Rankin was all round him. Here's Houghton. Houghton and Minicello.
All in the move! Goal line. Go.
Houghton again trying to fox them. A drive in from Payer once more, met by fierce resistance from Huddersfield. 3 gone, they've not made any progress forward, but they've held on to the ball hole. That's important. Taylor, he finds Chris Green. Chris Green trying to get the arms free. Good defence again on show from Huddersfield. Here's Houghton once more. Kelly fires the pass. Meludi trying to go over the top of the wall, but they push him out. They push him out of the field of play. And a grimace from Lee Radford, but pats on the back and applause for the Huddersfield Giants.
What you've got to like about that defence is that when he bounces off Wardle, the next man in Gaskell is not allowing Meludi to get to the ground. He knows that they're only a couple of metres away from the sideline. Keep him up, and he knows that he'll be helped out by his teammates.
And you can go back further than that. For 3 tackles previous, they were taking metres away from Hull FC, getting up quick and tackling the attackers in black and white shirts behind that gain line. That's what it means to them.
Hull have won 4 of the last 6 against Huddersfield. The last defeat to the Giants coming in those Super 8s last year by 46-18 at the K-Con. They've got a lot of work to do in the last quarter. They'll join Bill on the sideline.
Eddie, no sign of Sebastien Ikahihi returning from the dressing room where they took him when he was virtually carried off the field after this incident. Now, the word from the sidelines, it's a lower leg injury that he's sustained, and they're not that optimistic that he's going to be able to come back on the field, and that will be a big loss in the last quarter of the game, because he has been a big presence on the field for the Giants.
Hinchcliffe. And Gaskell finds Murphy. He will be a big loss. Ikahihi.
And it is worth referencing not only his presence as a player charging the ball forward as Michael Lawrence is doing now, but that rotation will be affected. Big players being big minutes in difficult conditions.
This is a great kick. It's a great kick. Oh, he's let the ball go. I think he's out. I think he was out. I think when he released the ball, he was out. The touch judge had his flag up. Jermaine McGilvray has swooped on the ball, and he's touched down, but That man had the flag up. It's head and feed to the Huddersfield Giants.
That is inch perfect, that kick. You can see Jack Logan hoping that his foot was over the sideline. So then the ball would go back to where it was kicked from. And as soon as he catches it, just have a little look at the hit here.
Do you know what all
Jordan
the amateur
Turner.
referees are thinking, don't you? Who want to get that out of the game. That's exceptional defence, but are you going to tell me something different, Stuart?
No, I was just looking at the touches getting the decision right.
Are you going to take the joy away from my heart and say that that's a shoulder charge?
Well, I wasn't going to actually, no.
This is good. This is good.
That's just straight on, chest on. And just one point on that, Robert Hicks was thinking about going to the video referee on that and realised that the toucher just put his flag up well away from the try line, and he can't actually go to the video referee because the decision's been made on touch.
Well, here come Huddersfield hoping to capitalise on that as Brough fires the ball wide to McIntosh. Kelly gets into him pretty quickly. And he will play the ball here to Wardle, who'll find Brough, and he in turn finds Michael Lawrence, having to do the hard yards with Hickey-Hifo off the field. Hinchcliffe. Another solid run from Daniel Smith. 3 metres out. Hull with a big job to do defensively. It's Jordan Turner. That's 4 tackles gone. Hull now muscling up in defence. Brough and Gaskell. Short pass. And it's Daniel Smith again. He goes down, tackle number 5. What does Danny Brough? Had up his sleeve here, nearly a knock on. It went backwards, and he just shuttles the ball out of play. He holds his hand up because he knows that he lost the momentum there with that little error, but at least he gets the ball over the line here.
Well, quick reactions from him. He was setting up on the right-hand side to kick the ball behind the try line, force another repeat set of 6. He makes that fumble, so the next best thing for him, because he can't come up with that play, is just kick it off the field.
Huddersfield have won the last 2 home matches, but they were knocked out of the cup here by Catalan Dragons. And the Dragons face St Helens in the semi-final on August the 5th. But they have beaten their bottom 4 rivals in recent weeks. Widnes, Salford, Leeds and Catalan. Hull are a team that they're looking to beat, and they're in the top 5.
I think there might be a crusher tackle here. You can just see on the back of the neck there, there's some pressure there.
Well, we might hear more about that in the week ahead.
Well, credit the player as well, Jack Logan. Referee went up to him, said, "Are you okay?" He said, "Yeah, I'm okay," to get on with it.
Kumatai was on his back. Here's Kelly.
Seen that play a number of times. So Huddersfield, the inside pass. Maludi tailing up on the inside.
Connor. Ball back on the inside is dropped by Jack Downs. So Huddersfield have it back.
And Hull FC looking at fixing that defensive line and isolating defenders, switching the ball back on the inside, but you can see Huddersfield players not switching off, not letting that gap get big enough between them and the teammate.
It's a 13-point lead that Huddersfield hold at the moment.
Got a couple of players down as well.
Hull are worried about running out of time. Huddersfield are worried about running out of players. 2 more players just up off the floor. Aaron Murphy to put himself around. Jacob Wardle's just bending his knees behind him to the right.
Well, you've got to be brave to play this game. It's been full on, hasn't it, for the past 63.5 minutes.
They've been throwing everything at each other, haven't they? Been committed in defence. You can see the shot there from Murphy on Albert Kelly, who's very strong. Albert Kelly, about 5 minutes ago, come up with a charge and knocked, I think it was a Kumatai.
Oh, and then he got
his backside.
Bit of friendly fire in his eyes then as well. From the Kumatai, did Murphy.
Well, no disrespect to any winger in the world, but when you're defending in the middle, it's a lot tougher when those bigger forwards are coming straight at you, carrying more weight, more power.
Murphy's in the second row.
He's defending in the middle, though.
Yeah, but he's not a winger anymore.
No. He's got number 5 in his back, and he's only just got into the back row, Eddie.
He's been switched there recently to good effect.
Like as I said, last week he made 46 tackles. Thought he was tremendous, won some good lines, very brave, always had good footwork.
Looks like he's all right to carry on. He's checking Wardle. I think he's staying out there as well. So here they come, Huddersfield. Rankin goes down. Okumatai. Ryan Hinchcliffe waiting at dummy half once Taylor gets off him. Lawrence was the dummy runner. Here is Brough. Back it comes now to Gaskell. He drops the pass off to Oliver Roberts. Payer is all round him. Taylor's there as well. Hinchcliffe down the left-hand side with Brough. Brough slides the kick through. And to the rescue came young Cameron Scott. Punches the ball over the line. Goal line dropout.
Always a teasing kick from Danny Brough. And when you play against Huddersfield, I'm sure a lot of work and a lot of talk in the week leading up to it is make sure we win the players at the back end. You don't want Danny Brough kicking on the front foot here. It is a short kick-off.
Yes, contested it is, but it is won, that contest, by Jordan Turner. Good a glorious chance for Huddersfield. Smith gets it away to Gaskell.
Albert Kelly.
Albert Kelly lifts Lee Gaskell off his feet.
Just checking that Gaskell's all right. Good sportsmanship from Kelly. He certainly caught one then, did Lee Gaskell. Here comes Daniel Smith again. Gaskell on his haunches, just to the left of your picture. And they're going that way with Hinchcliffe. And the referee, because of the close proximity to the injury to Gaskell, just holds the clock up again.
Still struggling. Well, he didn't see him coming in.
You've got to tuck for a shoulder.
Look at that. That's perfect. Perfect from Albert Kelly. I said when he was carrying the ball, he's strong.
People assume that players like Albert Kelly can't defend. The 6 and 7 typically, they'll get a bit of traffic. Players will call them spot players. They'll try and get at them. But if you run at Albert Kelly, Thomas Luluai is another player that will absolutely clean your clocks if you run right into him.
Problems for Gaskell. He stays out there though. So Jordan Rankin's waiting at dummy half underneath those hole posts. Finds Brough again. Brough with a short ball. No way through for Roberts, so he plays it to Hinchcliffe once more. Once again, Brough the go-to man. There's the kick. Well picked up by Maludi.
Catch him on the head.
Well, Okumatai, he had to be brave, Maludi, when he goes down for that ball.
Gets caught on the head.
Okumatai was around the vicinity, the big man. And there's contact with the head here, says the referee, Robert Hicks.
Now the penalty's for the flop, second man in. He's already tackled when he's touched on the ground, and then he's come down.
Just checking Maludi out.
I heard the referee say there's contact with the head there.
But it doesn't matter, it's a penalty.
No, that's what he's checking though. Didn't see much in it, to be fair. So he had to be brave when he goes down to pick that ball up.
He's had a good game, the fullback, Hakeem Maludi. Been everywhere, been involved in everything. When that ball is bobbling along the floor, he shields the ball using his body, and that's the reason he ends up a little bit of a clip on the noggin.
Is Maludi one of your candidates for the man of the match tonight? It's almost time for you to be joining in the fun on the Our League app on your mobile devices and making your choice. We'll have 4 names for you as selected by a former legend of the game. In a few minutes' time, the voting will be open and then you can make your choice. The candidates on both sides tonight, there really are.
The game's still to be won as well, Eddie.
It does. Here comes Taylor.
This man Danny Houghton trying to lift his side. And really, Jake Connor, I think he's had a quiet second half, really.
Oh, that's a risky pass. How about that from Murphy? Wasn't going anywhere forward then, Maludi.
He's my man of the match, the number 5 on his back. Look at what position he's playing for Huddersfield today.
Kelly's kick almost found Farimo. Instead, it finds Jacob Wardle.
He's been whacked all over the park, Maludi, and still keeps on coming. And every time he gets the ball, he's very committed when he runs. Doing a decent job at the back as well, organising the defenders.
How many points do you get, Phil, for man of the match in your dream team?
I'm giving him 5. He's got 5 on the back of his shirt. He can have 5 for me today.
I'd give a special mention to Jacob Wardle. Whatever he's done to a very high standard, and that's a young man that could still play academy under-19s rugby league.
This is Jordan Turner now. 30th Huddersfield appearance, formerly with Saints and Salford, remember, of course. And there's game management from Danny Brough. He has been at the fulcrum of the Huddersfield Giants tonight. I wouldn't be at all surprised if he is on the list of possible man of the match.
And taking the decisions as well to run the ball instead of going for the 2 points. Sensing what the attitude's like, sensing what the energy's like in their opponents. And every time he's battled the decision to make, he's made the right one, really.
12.5 minutes remain, 13 points. That drop goal from Danny Brough might be crucial in the end. Hull have got to get over for 2 converted tries and then some. Penrith against the New Zealand Warriors in the morning at 10 minutes to 11 on Sky Sports Arena. And then on Saturday at 10:30, same channel, Canterbury against Canberra. All from the NRL. The NRL back on Sky Sports this year, of course. And don't forget the big match from the Betfred Super League tomorrow night, Wigan and Warrington. 7:30, Sky Sports Arena again. Here tonight, 12 minutes to go. Dean Hadley to Kelly. Kelly finds Scott. Here is Kelly again as Hull look to prise open this defence. Goes high and it's claimed by McGilvery. And Jermaine McGilvery sets off on a run. Forwards, backwards, sideways, then forwards again. Claimed then by Connor's tackle.
Well, he's not just content with catching the ball, he just wants to make some yards. I think this man, he's been brilliant. Darnell McIntosh took a real heavy challenge then, but he keeps turning up. His relationship, like we talked about in the first half, with McGilvery.
Well, here is Aaron Murphy. I can tell you he is one of the 4 contenders for man of the match. The other contenders, Danny Brough, Lee Gaskell and Hakim Maludi from Hull FC. So 3 Giants and 1 Hull man competing for the Betfred Man of the Match award tonight. Michael Lawrence gets to his feet. Here is Gaskell. Gaskell, he drills that ball into touch with aplomb.
Well, that's the game plan now, isn't it? The more times they can do this, the less time that Hull FC have with the ball, and 10 metres from the line, you're going to be under some pressure. You know that you're going to start throwing the ball around, but to score a 90-metre effort, yeah, they've got the players with speed, but you're going to have to work really hard to break a team down.
Aaron Murphy is a contender for man of the match. Bill has some news about him.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be playing much more of this match, unfortunately, and he'll have to be on these contributions so far, which has been immense, but it is a shoulder problem that has forced him off the field, having more attention now. It's the right shoulder, and I tell you what, he is a tough cookie, Aaron Murphy, and he punches well above his weight, and it takes a lot to force him off the field, and that's the situation for the Giants. So this is worrying for them, because 2 of the real tough nuts, Sebastine Ikahihifo and now Aaron Murphy, are off the field for the remainder of the game. They're not home and dry yet.
Farimo is spun to the ground as we enter the last 10 minutes of the match. Time very much against the black and whites. Huddersfield, have they done enough to claim 2 vital points here tonight? Houghton gets it away to Kelly. Kelly saw a gap between Wardle and Mellor. It's quickly closed, and he wants a penalty, but it's not coming. So Connor hoisted high and long. And McGilvery has got a bit of time. It's a little laboured, the chase.
Even that's a good sign if you're a Huddersfield player, when you see one of the star players on the opposition getting up and shaking his head, knowing that he's not getting it his own way. He's really strong out there, Kelly, but not getting any joy, really.
Turner plays the ball to Brough. Here comes Ryan Hinchcliffe. Short ball from him to Akuma Tai. I say that men who've come back into the fray tonight for Huddersfield have done a great job. Lawrence just takes them a couple of metres further towards their own line. Hinchcliffe again finds Gaskell. Good hands. Good hands. Wide to McIntosh. One to beat wide. What a try! What a try from Darnell McIntosh! But it's not given yet, but I'm sure it'll be a try on the field, and it is. And if it's given to Darnell McIntosh, it'll be his second try of the night, and it will be the match-winning try as well. There'll be no comeback from Hull if this is given, Stuart.
Yeah, just about the touch and the grounding. Where's his left hand go? Absolutely fine. Nowhere near the touchline. That proves it. Ball's grounded fine. This will be confirmed.
Well, what a 21st birthday Darnell McIntosh has had. This will be confirmed. Second try for Darnell McIntosh and 2 points for the Huddersfield Giants. And they'll be out of the bottom four tonight. And Leeds, now without Brian McDermott to help and guide them out of trouble this year, Leeds will be in the bottom four.
A good attacking share that Huddersfield had then. They could have picked the right-hand side, but they go to the left-hand side. Everything's at the line. A lot of lead runners running into holes, pushing up close support. And you could just see that little speed there, the little change of direction. When he comes off his right foot, Darnell McIntosh, he just holds up the fullback. And as soon as he goes then, he knows he's got enough speed and power to get over the line.
What a wonderful team try. All started at the back with Jermaine McGilvray. Some big meters made by the England winger. Finished off by his opposite winger, Darnell McIntosh. No small part played by Jacob Wardle.
Oh, he's kicking not badly tonight. He's missed that one. Thought he was going to be drawn over the top of the bar. But no, Darnell McIntosh, though. But he's shown tonight exactly what he's all about, and he is a qualifier for the Young Player of the Year. I know you can't just have one flash in the pan on Sky, but he's been pretty good all year.
But the other thing we're seeing here for his side is that should they make the top eight, okay, they probably won't make the top four, but they've got absolutely nothing to lose, and they're a dangerous team to play against. Any of the other sides you come up against them know that John Wells made reference at half-time to the style of play. They seem to be under no pressure. There's no tension in any of what they've done in attack, and they'll be a difficult team to go head-to-head to for 80 minutes.
Darnell McIntosh, 2 tries for the first time this year. Just having a check on the man of the match voting. He's not in it. But Brough is, Murphy is, Gaskell is. And I think despite the efforts of Hakim Maloudi, I think it will be one of those 3 that gets the man of the match award tonight. I'll tell you something, it's very tight at the moment, and Maloudi is leading in the vote on the hourly gap. That's fantastic defence. It's not just been the tries that the likes of McIntosh has scored tonight. It has been the defence that Huddersfield Giants have produced to keep Hull at bay. They've played really well.
You know Sam Wolford will be really happy with. There were 7 minutes to go. When the ball shifted to the left-hand side of Hull FC, look, there's 6 players that come into the tackle. Yeah, Michael Lawrence arrives to the party a bit late, but he'll be really happy with what they've done. In the opening 19 games of the year, and that's a sad sign, Ricky Hehe for the opening 19 games of the season for Huddersfield, they've conceded an average of 29 points. When you look at the way they've defended tonight in this game, you think, how has a team like that conceded so many points?
Well, it's been a fantastic defensive display, as we're all saying, from Huddersfield, but this is the first time, it's their biggest total of the year, 29 points. So not only have they been good in defence, they've been very good in attack. But here we are, round 20, and this is their highest score of the season. You can see where their problems have been.
Well, considering when they were making those mistakes early on in the game, and you were thinking, all you've got to do is got to keep hold of it. You looked at the team, you looked at the plays, the structures that they were trying to play to, but just those mistakes and didn't help them. But my oh my, you've got to credit them for the way they've defended.
Well, Hakim Maloudi is leading the man of the match. Coming up on the rails is Danny Brough. You've still got around about 4 minutes to make your mind up on the man of the match award. There it is. Danny Brough closing, but Hakim Maloudi at the moment leading the man of the match award. We'll find out who in 5 minutes. Oh, now then. Good Rankin hands. Went for the touch then, but Farimo did brilliantly.
Good hands from Farimo. He knows his time. Oh, sorry, he knows his team need the ball. They're running out of time. The Huddersfield Giants have put in a tremendous performance. Energetic, enthusiastic, passion, aggression. They've had it all tonight.
You all call it must win, and it looks like they have won.
Well, they needed it, didn't it? And as
so did Hull FC.
That little speed bump last week that they had. And then that loss against Hull KR.
Well, it was 5 wins in a row, so it's 6 from 7 now for them. They're in form. They might yet make a dent on the top 8 if they stay there. Still 3 more rounds to go before the big split after this for these two sides. Houghton. Kelly. Oh, nice. Nice from Kelly to Hadley. Ball back to Houghton. Houghton is, well, he's got the ball down, I think. I was going to say he's held up, but he managed to maintain the momentum and plonk the ball over the line. Well, it probably means little because of the fact that it came in the 77th minute, but it proves that Hull, their spirit is undiminished. Houghton's try, 29-16.
They've got to do it, they've got to try it. Some offloads, Albert Kelly round the corner, blind offload. He finds a support player. The try scored by the hooker, Danny Houghton.
Jake Connor, the extras.
Yeah, Jake Connor converts. Everybody in a black and white shirt rushing now. There's a collection of players in Huddersfield jerseys behind the sticks. There's the offload from Albert Kelly. You'd back Dean Hadley to make the right choice, the right decision, and the skipper tries as hard as he can to get that ball down and does eventually.
The time is off. I think Danny Houghton knows it might be too little too late. Just over 3 minutes remaining, and Huddersfield had a real conflab behind the sticks as that conversion was taken. Then the touch judges have to get back in position. Then the referee calls time off.
Well, the Giants probably disappointed with conceding that try. That's how far they've come in this game, during this game. As the game has unfolded, they've got more and more confident. In the Golden Point show with Brian Carney, he asked me whether I thought that Hull FC would break into that top 4. I thought they would. They'll get nowhere near it playing like they have tonight.
Well, credit them, they're not giving it up just yet. But there's a couple of glum faces, isn't there, in the stands belonging to the Hull coaches. Here goes Paya.
He's a smart coach, Lee Radford. He was a tough player as well, but I think that he'll admit that his forwards have been absolutely out-muscled in this game.
That looked as it might have been forward from Connor. But Jack Downs wasn't hanging around to debate it. Here they come again now with Chris Green. They're trying everything to keep this ball alive. Hadley goes wide to Kelly. Kelly is tackled by Hinchcliffe and Gaskell. Loses the ball and gets a penalty.
Well, it just plays into the hands, doesn't it? Albert Kelly, again looking so strong. A quick tap here.
Here they come with Dean Hadley then. They're turning the screw here, are Hull. But I think Huddersfield have got enough in reserve. Last 2 minutes. It's Kelly again, short ball to Green. He loses it. And Huddersfield certainly do have it more in reserve now. Lee Radford knows he's on his way downstairs to begin the inquest.
Chris Green then, when he gets through the line, he's looking to offload the ball. Can't get that clean offload away. Albert Kelly probably switched off when he passed that ball and was looking to set something else off, and Simon Wolford knows it's been a decent performance from his team and a reaction really that he wanted. go up to Hull KR.
When he came over here, probably a lot of people, even the diehards of rugby league, would have said Simon who. But he's played 5 games now as the head Shirong here at Huddersfield, and he's won 3 of them.
And he was a good old player as well when he used to play for Canberra.
I mean, in the coaching terms, Simon who, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's obviously a great former player, having played as many times as he did for Canberra. Only Croker and Daly, 2 big names of Canberra's past, have played more.
Wait. Go.
But as we know, not all great players make great coaches.
That's right, Eddie.
That's why you're up here.
Yeah, would never wanted to go into coaching. Talking to both the lads before the game, I said, I don't know why you're doing this. They said, we just love it.
Is that them talking to you?
No, I was talking to Simon and Lee before the game.
I thought they asked you why you do this. Huddersfield have been mighty impressive tonight. Mighty impressive. Brough tries to find touch, but Logan cuts out the pass, or the kick rather, down this side. Maludi, just until a few minutes ago, was leading man of the match. It'll be fascinating to see who is the Betfred Super League man of the match tonight. Voting is now closed.
That defensive line still intact.
Look. Logan pops it up, the ball goes over the line on the far side. That will do. That will do for the Giant, who's banging the drum on the way to the top 8. There they are. They're in the top 8. Leeds drop into the bottom 4. In the week that they sacked Brian McDermott, and Brian not there to steady the ship this year anymore. Ken Davey, the owner of Huddersfield Giants, delighted, so is his coach. He certainly breathed a bit of life into this club.
Super impressed with the performance tonight. The effort was there from 1 to 17. Jermaine McGilvery and Darnell McIntosh, the work that they did in the backfield, that probably set the platform in this middle part of the field for players like Brough and Gaskell to get involved. But I have to say, it's been a committee performance, but it's been a team performance. And the coach will be delighted, especially with the defence, especially with the attitude, and with the way that they just snuffed out the black and whites.
It was 19-6 to the Giants at half-time. It was 2 tries apiece in the second half. McIntosh with the 2 for the Giants, Maludi and Houghton for the 2 for Hull. Connor kicked both goals for Hull. Brough just the 1. That's the only blemish on his performance tonight, Danny Brough. It's 6 wins in 7 now for the Huddersfield Giants. They're on the march. Quoted this week as saying they don't believe the top 4 is beyond their reach. Well, we shall see. And let us now see who has won your vote as the Betfred Super League man of the match. And Hakim Maludi held on to his lead. He's talking to Bill.
Thanks, Eddie. At least Hull FC go home with something to show for their efforts. Hakim Maludi, the man. Hakim, congratulations on getting man of the match. What do you make of that?
But just thank you. But all the team play well. But I think we forced too much errors. But the Huddersfield Giants played well to win the game, and just we need to learn of this game, and we start training with the coach and with the boys.
You tried very hard tonight. You did. You got a try as well. You seemed to be very involved.
Yeah, because when I'm in the field, I want to do the best, and I play for my shirt, try to play well for my team, and just I'm happy for the boys, but we want to work hard for win this game because it's important. If we win this game, we have 2 points for go to top 4. That's it. Congratulations to Huddersfield Giants. That's it.
Hakim, well done. Man of the match. You get a cheque for a charity as well. Do you think where that might go?
For LFC Foundation.
The foundation. Yep. Hakim Maludi, man of the match. Well done. Darnell McIntosh. Wasn't in the voting, surprisingly. But other than that, not a bad way to celebrate your 21st birthday with 2 tries.
No. I would have swapped the 2 tries for a win any day, but it's nice to get the win on 2 tries, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
21st birthday,
Yeah,
2 tries. You feel old?
Feeling old. yeah.
But this was an important win.
Yeah, it was. We've been on a good run last few weeks, you know, apart from Challenge Cup. And then last week, we were really hard on ourselves after that OKR. We just didn't perform to our best. You know, if you perform like that, you're going to get beat by any team. So this week, just want to concentrate on us, cut out the errors, and then we know what we can do.
You got 3 tough games left: Wigan, Castleford, Wakefield in this first phase of the season. That makes this a vital win.
Yeah, it does. It's a massive win for us. You know, Hull have been going great all season. You know, they had a few of their players back, and they got Jake Conn, who was on form really. So just really that we targeted right people, but just played to our own game plan.
Well, it's Thursday night. It's your 21st birthday. That's the whole weekend.
No, it ain't. No.
What's planned?
Nothing. We're in tomorrow morning, and we're back in training on Sunday. We're just trying to get as many good sessions in as we can, just to really prep for this next 3 weeks. So I'll be taking it steady. Probably just watch England game on Saturday. That's it.
Good lad. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Well, Simon Wilford is the Giants coach, and I think probably, apart from maybe the closing stages of the game, that you seem to get the most enjoyment from what went on defensively in that game.
Yeah, look, our defence has been pretty good the last 6 weeks. Obviously, last week we had to do too much of it and we tired and we leaked points in the second half. But I thought we made it a little bit hard for ourselves early on in the game. We were a bit sloppy with the ball, but as a whole, our defence was outstanding. I'm really proud of the way they stuck together tonight.
And given what's ahead, you know, Wigan, Castleford, Wakefield in this next phase of the season, this was a must-win game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Like we spoke about during the week, the slip-up last week, we couldn't have another one tonight. It would have been very difficult had we have not had a win tonight. So, you know, we prepared well during the week. We improved on some things we worked on, and like I said, the effort from the guys was outstanding.
The only downside, seeing Sebastien Ikahihifo on crutches and Aaron Murphy, it takes a lot to get Aaron Murphy off the field.
Yeah, I think Murph just had a bit of a stinger in his shoulder. Sebastian's got an ankle complaint, so we'll assess over the next couple of days how bad that is, but he's unlikely to be playing next week.
Simon, thanks a lot. You must be enjoying life in Huddersfield.
Yeah, it's great. The weather's fantastic.
It hasn't rained since you've been here.
No, but we need rain. The ground's as hard as a rock, so we need some rain. Thank you.
Spoken like a bomb. Lee Radford's the Hull FC coach, and were you ever really at the pace of that game, do you think, tonight?
Yeah, for 10 minutes, definitely. But, you know, some real impatience from your voted man of the match. You know, 3-7 tackle sets in that period, and our inability to defend back-to-back sets ultimately cost us the game.
Was that youthful exuberance, Hakeem? He was just trying so hard.
Yeah, no, it's easy to make them mistakes when you can trot off the fullback and not defend in the middle. We might sling him in at hooker for a set and see if he continues to make those mistakes. But yeah, no, it's you know, they went through the process. They didn't have a lot to beat in front of them tonight, but they did. So credit where credit's due.
Is this a big setback as far as the top 4 goes?
I don't know. You'll have to ask me at the end of the season.
Thanks, Lee.
Thank you. Cheers, Paul.
Oh, I might ask him at the end of this round. They're currently 3 points off the top 4. If results go against them, they will be 5 points off the top 4 come the end of round 20. Confirmation of the win, 29 points to 18 to the Huddersfield Giants over Hull FC. The Giants move up into 7th spot with their 6th win in their last 7 games, their 8th win of the season altogether. We can go to the table, have a look at the Betfred Super League table now, see exactly what it does do. Hull will be unchanged in 5th spot. Huddersfield, though, moving up into 7th and pushing the Leeds Rhinos down into the bottom 4. Okay, we can go to John Wells now for his game breaker from that match.
Thanks very much, Brian. Yeah, game breakers sometimes, most of the time, they're a player, aren't they? They're a try, they're a major moment in a game. A little bit different, I think, this evening. The game-breaking moment was as early as the 51st minute, and this is the lead-up to the try. But I think we can wrap all this up as a feeling, an attitude that was displayed from the Huddersfield Giants and was absent in Hull FC. This sort of stuff. Look at Jermaine McGilvray. The work he does in contact now takes another 5 metres out of the defence, and crucially, because this is the play the ball before the try, ends up with 2 players sat on the short side. That's massive when you look at where the recipient of the first pass is, where the second pass goes. So already a man up in the defensive line. Make that 2 because the fullback's tied in. Danny Brough gets to Massi Motongo. Then they exploit the overlap. Lovely hands from Jacob Wardle on the outside to Daniel McIntosh. The first of his 2 tries in the second half. But crucially, They backed up when they were asked, albeit Maludi scores in the interim, with defence like that. And that was a pattern that you saw throughout the second half. Good game management, good defence, took their opportunities. This is Darnell McIntosh's on the 72nd minute. That was at 25-12, took them to 29-12, and then backed it up once again with some stern defence. That pattern, Brian, that attitude, that application of everything that Simon Wolford has brought to this club over the last couple of weeks was borne out in that victory today. They go 7th, they sit 7th, and if results go their way this weekend, they could stay 7th.
Yeah, thanks very much, John. Certainly something referenced by Simon Wolford in his post-match interview with Bill. Defence outstanding, he said. Tackles missed, 12 apiece. Hull FC matching them. I mean, the stats across the board were relatively easy. Completion rate higher for Huddersfield. Wolford had said going into this game he wanted an improved completion rate from the game against Hull Kingston Rovers, where they were distant second best. Right, massive win for the Huddersfield Giants. How big a setback, though, for Hull FC? Aside Phil Clark, you had tipped to make not just the top 4 after round 23, but the top 4 come round 30. Let's look at this from a Huddersfield Giants point of view, first and foremost. A game they really had to win, and they delivered in spades.
They did, yes. I was disappointed. I was surprised. I thought Hull would win the fixture, but they weren't good enough, and it was an impressive performance from the Huddersfield side. They were, embarrassed last week at Hull Kingston Rovers, so you will see a reaction when they bounce back from that, and they did thoroughly deserve to win. There was an interesting incident, really. I mean, in the second half, with the scores, it was 19 points to 6 at half-time. Hull had to be the first team to score, and they had a brilliant opportunity to do so, but they couldn't convert that. And then a few minutes later, when Huddersfield have scored, it sort of drifted away. You never thought they were ever going to be close enough to get the home side nervous.
A great balance to the Huddersfield Giants victory as well. Very good with the ball, scoring some very good tries. Very good without the ball as well. Lee Radford said we were in that game for about 10 minutes. I'm thinking it's the first 10 minutes when they're peppering Huddersfield Giants line, not with just kicks, but just here behind us with running plays. Huddersfield had the answers throughout the 80 minutes.
Well, worryingly for Hull, for 2 weeks in a row now, it seemed to me that their opponents have had more energy and more enthusiasm. Here's an incident here with Hakeem Maludi, and the defence here that Huddersfield show. Time and again, they contained him. I mean, I thought he tried very hard. The whole coach was critical of him at the end. Maybe he tried a little bit too hard, didn't he, and took some opportunities, but they closed him down, and that sort of attitude in defence is very hard to beat. 6 men involved in a tackle, throwing their opponents over the sideline. With that spirit, if they can continue with that, and in fact, if you look at Super League, the record in Super League since the coach arrived, that's 3 wins from 4. They've beaten Leeds, Catalan, and now Hull. And if they make it to the top 8, they're a side with the potential and nothing to lose that you really don't want to play against.
OK, that victory, of course, pushes the Leeds Rhinos into the bottom 4. Press release from Leeds this evening. They will have a press conference tomorrow at Headingley, 10 a.m, where Gary Hetherington, their chief executive, will announce who will be in charge from now until the end of the season, and he says he will make a significant announcement regarding the long-term successor for Brian McDermott. Hull FC at the other end of the table. They're now 3 points. Well, they went in 3 points adrift of the top 5, the top 4. They may be 5 points adrift come the end of this. What did you make of their performance here?
Not good enough to be in the top 4, but we know that performance has changed from one week to the other. Last week, Huddersfield were embarrassed. What will be fascinating between now and the end of the season is the impact of the Challenge Cup semi-final and final. Hull, of course, not involved in that. And maybe they'll have to hope that some of the results and some of their opponents that they played before and after those cup matches maybe don't quite have their eye on the ball, because they've got some catching up to do, some serious catching up.
You can look at this with 2 ways with Hull FC, really, can't you? They have had some significant injuries. I mean, most teams have had. The inconsistency in results, particularly Performances tend to lead to results. Won 4, lost 4 of the last 8 games. That's been consistent throughout the year. Well, they haven't been able to string together, I think, more than a 3-game winning run.
You know, that I've had the impression that they've always felt, well, when we really need to do, we can turn it on and do it. But they certainly can't turn on the grunt in the middle of the field. For 2 weeks in a row now, they've not been able to advance the ball as well as they did in previous matches this season, and as well as they did last year, I think. People talked about this whole pack and the size of it at rolling down the field. It hasn't really
materialised, has it?
Yeah. As in the fixtures that we've seen so far, and they need to find a way of doing the hard stuff down the middle.
OK, the night belongs to the Huddersfield Giants. A reminder of what we've got coming up for you tomorrow on Sky Sports. It's 2nd v 3rd from the DW Stadium at Wigan. They meet for the 4th time this year. 2 in the league, of course, once in the Challenge Cup. and this is all primed to be a Betfred Super League thriller. 7:30 p.m. on Sky Sports Arena. And we've got two from the NRL for you. One tomorrow, one Saturday. Penrith against the New Zealand Warriors. 10:50 a.m. Sky Sports Arena. Same channel. 20 minutes earlier on Saturday, it's Canterbury against Canberra. Wonder have Canberra's hopes of a top 8 finish evaporated with last week's defeat. Right, from the John Smith Stadium, Phil, thanks for your company. Thanks for your company at home. Giant strides taken tonight. The Giants move into the top 8. Hull, plenty of work left to do.
It's Gaskell. Stabs the kick in. Chased it, Aaron Murphy. Oh, lovely feed from Rankin. Lovely feed from Jordan Rankin. Gaskell goes wide and further wide. Donnell, McIntosh, and perhaps has given Huddersfield an unassailable lead. Good hands, wide to McIntosh, one to beat wide, what a try! What a try from Darnell McIntosh! 2 points for the Huddersfield Giants, and they'll be out of the bottom 4 tonight.
Sky Sports Action. Feel it all.
Just looking to pass, earn the right to play, go forward.
Gale to Hardacre, Hardacre to Minikin, wide to Edom,